guys, we're back. I have 2 arms. That's good. Yeah.
You didn't have to get an automail arm?
No, man. I started watching that series. I don't need to tell you that because you recommended it to me. And I'd never seen it before. It's so cool. I'm like through the first 12 episodes. Did you know that alchemy is based on the law of equivalent exchange?
Yeah, man.
I learned all about that. Yeah, it's true.
To obtain something of equal value must be lost.
That's right. I'm going to have that intro thing memorized by next week or something.
I definitely recommend checking out Full Metal Alchemist. If you like anime,
yeah,
and you like something that's it's pretty actiony, but it also makes you think a little bit. That's how I feel about Full Metal Alchemist. It's really good.
And if you like to be sad, then it's a good show too.
It is pretty. I like stuff that's tragic. That's something I really enjoy watching.
Well, we're gonna have one sad player after this next match because one of them is gonna get knocked out of Code A, and it's gonna be Hozo Bonbon, otherwise known as vanvanth, which I wonder if that's like an anime thing too.
Yeah, we actually were wondering about this. Someone maybe tweeted FXO Wolf or Doa SC about.
Yeah, is that like from an anime or something?
Yeah, vanvanth, because he went by bonbons, but in Korean there's no V sound. So if you want to be vanvanth, they would still call him bonbons.
He specifically wanted it to be vanvanth too in his ID. So I know like Escaflowne, I think there was like a Von or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe if anyone knows about that, tweet at us and tell us where that's from. Maybe.
Yeah. Getting our anime nerd on at the
I know, man.
Here's this guy. Is he an anime nerd as well? Who knows? But he's a pretty good Protoss player.
Yeah, he actually used to be in Code S.
That's right, he did.
He made it all the way to the round of 8 last season. There were some lucky games in there, though. There was I don't want to cancel my Colossus even though I know DTs are coming game in there.
He just loves Colossus so much. Who doesn't, you know?
It's like the Colossus is halfway done. He's like, well, I don't know. I'm like, no, Bonbons, you're going to cancel that. Cancel it, man.
And so he went to the up and down matches, and then he went down. And so now he's back in Code A again, and he has to play against someone who is a pretty strong Terran player. Yeah. We're going to get a shot of him in just a second, I'm sure.
Yeah, GanZI, there he is. He's done quite well in foreign events as well as at the GSTL.
Yeah, definitely. Made it very, very far in MLG Anaheim. One of those Slayers, Terran players that it always seems like they have something new up their sleeves. You know, I mean, Slayers is really like the house of Terran, new Terran strategies, you know?
GanZI hasn't had his opportunity yet in Code S. And I think that he finally feels like, all right, I'm going to do it this season. I feel like he might be able to do it this season.
I think he's going to at least stay in. I mean, my liquid bet said GanZI was going to win.
Me too, man. Yeah. Bonbons is pretty good. He shows his play can be a little bit rocky sometimes, but he's definitely not a bad player.
Yeah. And his keyboard, actually, he's using one of those Marauder keyboards, and I think I talked about this last week where it's really growing on me. I really like that keyboard now, and I don't like membrane keyboards as a rule. So it's weird for me. I don't know.
Well, it is a little bit weird. I mean, when I touch that keyboard, I feel like, well, this isn't a StarCraft keyboard for me, and I just want to use my QSN DT35, which you guys should try, or my Razer Black Widow. But the Marauder keyboard is pretty cool. It changes with your APM and stuff like the rest of the Razer products.
Yeah, it flashes purple if your units are being attacked.
Yeah.
Which sometimes I play without sounds, so that's kind of handy if I'm not looking at my minimap. So they eliminated, look at that, Bonbon eliminated Belshear Beach again. Nobody likes that. Oh, and GanZI eliminated Daybreak. That's our new map that we haven't seen yet.
I actually played a bunch of games with that with Torch on that map recently. It was a very good map. I really enjoyed it. We played all the matchups. So
I ops one of those games. I was sleeping, I think, during a lot of that, though. Yeah.
You're like sleeping at your desk?
Not at my desk. I was
you're like I obs that, but I think I was sleeping during it.
Torch and Wolf, most boring games in the history of Starcraft. No, I'm just kidding.
Intro would not wait, man. We just jumped right into it.
Well, apparently it's game time. Here we are at the 6 o'clock position. Our red Protoss. He is from the team NS Hozo. Back again. Everybody knows this guy. His name is... Say the name, Wolf.
NS Hozo Bonbon.
NS Hozo Bonbon. And his opponent, a Slayer's Terran. Very, very good in my opinion. Spawning at the 12 o'clock position. Cross map he is.
Slayer's Kanji.
One of my friends is actually trying to explain to me what GanZI means in Korean. It's like what she was telling me is, I mean, I don't know if this is actually the case of why you chose this idea. It might mean multiple things. But what she was telling me was, if you see someone who's looks really cool, you just see someone walk out of the subway and you look at them and they just make you feel well, that guy's he's a cool guy. That kind of thing. That's what someone is GanZI is I don't know. You like
So,
say Ganji, it's like, oh well, this guy is like approaching and he's like cool. I don't know. She was trying to explain to me. I don't know. I didn't really fully understand, but it was.
So it's like in Happy Days when the Fonz walks in and everyone's like, "That guy's awesome."
I didn't see Happy Days.
You never watched it like Nick at Night or something?
No, I never did, man. I actually didn't have cable when I was a kid.
Well, who is like a cool guy? I don't know. What about like the original series, the original couple seasons of Boy Meets World, like the older brother Eric? He was like the typical cool older brother in that 90s sitcom.
I didn't even watch that show either, man.
It's okay. He turned into like an insane guy.
Is that the show where one of the girls' names is Topanga?
Yeah, dude.
I like heard about that. I was like, who is Topanga? That's the worst name I've ever heard.
Dude, that's actually the best sitcom ever made. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but it's true.
Is that the one with Shia LaBeouf? Is he in that?
No, I don't think so. That's the one with like one of the Savage brothers.
I don't know, man. Like I don't know about any of these shows. I just watched Arthur and Friends, man.
That wasn't a sitcom.
AARDVARK, man. And there's some nerds out there know what I'm talking about. They didn't have cable either.
Or anyone who knows how to spell aardvark. So, pretty normal opening from both players, really. I mean, 12 barracks, 13 gas. That probe is going to try to stay alive. And
well, he's lucky to see that gas.
Yeah.
At cross positions, normally you don't get to see that gas. He's very lucky.
Yep. That probe feels lucky. I think he'll feel even luckier as he leaves the base with his life.
No second gas for vanvanth.
I wonder.
And this SUV is luckily going to be able to scout this as well.
Yeah. It's a lucky day for gatherers. They're going to see quite a bit. There's a second gas just getting started now. A little bit later, so probably going to see some sort of... Well, you're the Protoss player. Why don't you tell us what we're probably going to see?
We could see a Void Ray all in. I don't think we're going to see that given that his opponent has scouted gas. Oh, but look at this, making a command center. And the SCV does go down. But he's making a command center after taking the gas. It's going to be the last thing that Bonbons expects. Adding 2 more barracks here as well. He's actually not mining from the gas. He mined 92 gas. That's it. And he has pulled out of gas. I love this move because this really changes the way vanvanth has to think about the game. From here, he gets a fast command center up, he adds more barracks, he has the ability to make a tech lab and make a few Mars if he wants to, but he gets that faster command center. I love this. Players need to do this stuff more often.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Another Slayer's Terran. It's the House of Terran Innovation, man.
You know what build, in the beta, when I first got my beta key, it was like the first week of Starcraft 2 beta, what I was doing was mining 100 gas, making 2 reactors, and doing like a super fast marine timing attack. Hold that thought. But you can see how well Marines do against Zealots. That's what I was doing, man. I hit that base with like 12 Marines really fast on like Steps of War.
If you can do like a really fast early push with like combat shields, it's really, really tough for Protoss.
Yeah, that's like the new age little timing attack you can do.
Yeah.
Someone showed me this build where you can do with combat shields and +1 against a 1 racks or 1 gate expand. Right, the build I was talking about with the 100 gas, 2 reactors was like a beta build where reactors built, and 1/10 of the time that they build now, and Marines even built faster back then.
So it looks like 1 gate robo for Bonbon. He's going to expand off of that.
Yeah.
And he's got some time, but I think he might be a little bit off in terms of kind of what he's predicting. There's a Stargate going down.
Well, what he's seen is a ton of Marines, and that may lead him to believe, well, okay, he's going for one of those Marine tank timing attacks. He's made a lot of Marines, but on the other hand, it could just be that he's added more barracks. And of course, that's what this observer's going to go and try to see.
Now, he is actually, I believe, just going to go with a Marine with Stim timing push once his first 2 medevacs come out, which should match up about right. I think Stim should be finishing about when those first 2 medevacs get done, or about when he gets near the base.
His opponent is going for a 1 gate into Colossus 2 base, and he's going to have to add some more gates. There he goes, adding some more gates as natural. It's very, very difficult to pull something off like this. This Stalker is friendly.
Run! Alright, those other Stalkers aren't as friendly.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
So, looks like Bonbon's going to go up to 3 gates here and a Robo with a Bay. Going to be pretty difficult to hold this because the first attack is going to hit.
This kind of reminds me.
He's going to do a little bit of damage. Then he's going to back away, and then the Vikings are going to start coming out, and the map control is going to be very difficult. But the command center hasn't been moved to the natural yet.
Oh, he sees the observer, maybe.
Yeah, he sees it. He's like, do I want to scan here? Nah, it's not worth it.
This almost reminds me a little bit of what Karn does to troll people on the SEA server with TVP. He just goes mass Marine.
He does do that a lot.
Oh, and the observer in a perfect position to see that drop. He's going to be like, hey, where are you guys going? And so, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a drop. I thought he was just maybe push, but apparently not.
Unloading all of his units to kill a probe, that's going to slow him down.
A little bit. I think I think he knows that there's not really much point in pursuing this drop now that has been spotted. I mean, I think he probably saw the shimmer of the observer.
Yeah, he's gonna,
or at least the pro.
He's gonna go aggressively, check for the third base, and then probably go home.
Really fast Colossus.
Yeah, this is a super fast Colossus build. Very risky if his opponent had been a little bit more aggressive, but he kept scouting at that observer over there.
And I think that
I don't know. He doesn't have enough units to hold, I don't think.
Yeah, he's going to do some damage.
Oh, look at this factory walling him in.
That is actually awesome.
And he's going to try to target down this Colossus. Will he get it?
I think he certainly could. His units are getting spread out a little bit there. The Colossus does go down. And with the warp in, though, GanZI, does he have enough? No, he does not. Well, maybe he does.
No, he doesn't. The Stalkers are something that even you and I were like, well, doesn't he have more units than this? The Stalkers were prepared for drops. They're in the main.
Yeah.
And he does definitely have enough to hold this. And the micro of GanZI was not the best either.
Yeah. The nice thing is that he did manage to kill the Colossus, so that's going to slow down any attacks coming at him. He did just load up another drop, as we can see there, so he's going to try to put some more pressure on there. But I don't know. He's going to need some more barracks. I think he's going to just kind of sit back and drop and play a little bit more defensive for a while.
GanZI actually leaving 4 Stalkers in his main is going to be prepared to, even leaving 6, prepared for this drop, even has an observer to spot for it. And GanZI committed a lot of forces to attack. He gave up a little bit of map control, but he's got his base up. But the scary thing is, there's a third base going up for vanvanth right now, and he sees this drop. He's going to get it.
And
he doesn't react quickly.
Must not be watching his mini-map.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He could have gotten a free drop there.
Yep. I think he would have gotten it anyway. It was good for GanZI to turn around.
Well, you know, it's like one of those things where you get a coupon to that one place, and you're like, oh, I'll go later.
Yep.
You never use it. That's what that was like, man.
You like do laundry and you find it in your pocket like 6 months later. It's like, oh man.
You finally want to go to that place and like, we have a coupon for that place. You tell your girlfriend, you get the coupon out, it expired yesterday, and you're like,
That pizza would have tasted so much better if I would have gotten $2 off. Sad, man. So I'm kind of waiting for the Ghost Academy to go up for GanZI, but he's not getting it.
Well, he wants to take a third base here. Look at that drop defense. He's completely prepared for this with that observer.
Yeah.
And I like that GanZI never overcommits. He's very aware of what's going on.
He definitely plays, I would say, the safest of any of the Slayer's Terrans right now. He's the least aggressive of them.
GanZI is going to go over here and see this third base with his SCV scout, though. And that's going to be kind of scary for him, realizing, I don't know, I haven't been able to do any damage with these drops. We're about even in supply, but you have a third base up way faster than me.
Now, one thing that we've seen, actually, we were talking about this a lot last night at the GOM House, is how in a lot of the TVPs we've been seeing recently outside of Korea, the Terrans and Protoss have basically just kind of sat there and not done anything until there's a big 200-200 battle at the end, and then the Terran loses.
Yeah, if you guys watched the European BattleNet event, the Blizzard event, with those invitees, you saw a lot of play like that with Naniwa versus Thorzane.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But it looks like we're just going to see both these players. It's kind of how TVP is right now. You're so scared to engage because that one engagement decides the game in most cases.
Right.
So you don't want to overcommit, and part of the reason for that is because of force fields and concussive shells. It's very difficult to retreat once the engagement starts.
Oh, there's a drop at the main. It's going to be cleaned up very quickly.
He actually probably could have kept those units there and engaged the Stalkers. Oh, this attack is going to be pretty devastating if vanvanth doesn't see it, but he does see it.
Now he's got a good amount of Vikings. He can kind of zone out the Colossi and ideally kill a few of them.
The Stalkers coming over the blink finishes, and it looks like he is going to clean up this engagement, taking a pretty advantageous lead here.
Yeah, GanZI actually getting crushed there. Blinking ahead to pick up a medevac or two, or none. He will get one medevac. There, he finally gets one.
He might blink forward again.
Yep. Oh, but another drop at the main.
I really like this. It's that same drop that he's been pesky with.
Yep. And depowering a couple structures right there. Depowering the chrono-boosted Twilight Council. That's going to waste a little bit of time there.
I think that vanvanth's to turn around here, though. I'm not sure he needs to engage this right now. And again, another drop. vanvanth isn't paying attention to his attack at the front, and he's losing a lot of units.
Oh, no. This counterattack just did not work well at all for Bonbon.
It was a terrible time to attack. These SCVs are coming out. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I mean, they might just have got a taste of the bloodlust, Wolf.
Gonna do a little citizen's arrest, but this is looking really bad. A situation that was looking really good for vanvanth is now looking somewhat bad, but he may catch these Vikings. That would be a pretty huge.
Yep, he's gonna get one of them, it looks like. Yep.
Doing a little bit of damage to the rest of those.
All right, so supply-wise, Terran is actually a little bit ahead right now. So They're basically even. I mean, it's not enough ahead really.
If you look at the supply, it's a little bit behind. He's got so many resources because he was supply blocked. A lot of his gateways are unpowered. Now once those things get back up, we're going to see him jump back up and catch up. Double upgrades coming out 1-1 for vanvanth, and finally his charge has been restarted, rebooted.
Now, what are the upgrades for Terran right now?
Well, he's got 1-1, so he's a little bit ahead in that regard. And he's going to attack this third base again. He has to be very careful with how he does this because this is a very scary place for a Terran army to engage.
Yep. vanvanth's army is pretty out of position,
Way out of position. This Nexus will probably go down.
I think it's more like definitely Wolf. The Nexus getting taken out.
Losing this Nexus now. He can retreat. He's going to catch a Colossus as well.
Very nice choice to engage right now for GanZI, and he can micro against those Zealots. The Stalkers are out of position, handling the Vikings, and GanZI, I think he should pull back right now.
Pulls back. The battle that I thought was going to crush GanZI's units, just unfortunately vanvanth moved out at the wrong time. That's why it's so important to hold those watchtowers on this map, or at least have a few units and observer on that hallway. If you get blindsided like this, it's terrible. It's not as bad as the old days in Desert Oasis where you could get blindsided where both players' armies were on the other sides of each other.
Oh, man.
How many base races were there on Desert Oasis, man?
I think mostly every game really was a base race on Desert Oasis. And, we saw vanvanth again chase GanZI all the way back to his base almost. Decided to turn around at the last moment. Didn't work out too well for him before. He's got a good amount of Archons right now, too, which is going to help.
He just has to make sure to control his army, pay attention to it. Last time he was on move command.
Yeah.
While the drop was there, and he just lost a ton of units. I think he could win this engagement. He's actually ahead in supply now.
He could.
He actually pulled ahead way in supply. GanZI may have missed some depots. I'm not entirely sure what happened here. He lost a lot of units, but not that many. This is going to be a scary engagement. There are so many Archons in the mix here.
Yeah, I think GanZI is in huge trouble.
And we have even upgrades.
Perfectly. No Ghost to be seen anywhere, though, even though the Ghost Academy is done. Here comes the engagement right now. GanZI has a good amount of bio, but those Archons are going to do so much damage.
Yeah, even cleaning up those Vikings.
Yeah.
Look at that. And running out of Zealots, though, and it looks like GanZI may hold a little bit longer, but with the Stalkers blinking forward here.
And I think GanZI might be barely able to clean this up with reinforcements, but he will probably lose his third.
I think he actually may lose this game.
Yeah, that may actually be it.
I'm really surprised he was able to muster up that many forces. It was a really good timing. GG.
Yep.
GanZI lost a lot of forces as he was retreating. The Stalkers were blinking, chasing down the units.
Yep.
And he invested in that Ghost Academy. He didn't make any Ghosts. A few Ghosts may have turned the tide in that battle.
I think so, definitely. Yeah, I mean, he was spending so much on Vikings, it was really, really difficult for him to get the Ghost set that he needed to, too.
When you have only Stalkers actually take huge hits from EMP. Zealots are, not so much. They mostly have hit points, not shields. With the Stalkers, you EMP a Stalker, that's like half of its health gone immediately by one unit. You get some good EMP off on those Stalkers, the Medivacs, the Marauders, just clean everything up. And he just barely broke through that, but part of the reason was he just had such a supply lead.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you said at the end, I do wonder if he missed a couple depots or something.
Yeah, I kind of want to go back and look.
Even, and then all of a sudden, vanvanth just jumped up. So.
And that's what happens when you overcommit to kill a Nexus, which I don't think is really what happened there. He stayed a little bit too long, maybe.
It was really close. I mean, vanvanth's units were so far out of position. It was hard. I mean, I don't think anyone would have been like, no, I have to pull back before I kill this Nexus. It was too tempting. It looked too good. It was like that piece of pie on the cart that you have to have.
Yeah, you're on a diet, but you do it anyways.
That's right.
Well, that game turned out very differently than I expected, especially after all the drop harass. vanvanth did a great job of holding off those drops. He was very active with his observers. Then in the later stages of the game, that one mistake I thought might have been game-ending, but his counterattack was so strong.
Well, we've seen a lot of TVPs lately where if there's no EMPs for the Terran player, the Terran loses. I mean, EMPs are just such an integral part of the matchup right now, especially in the late game, that if you can't get those ghosts out and you don't have the EMPs, I just think it's nearly impossible for a Bio Terran to actually win in that situation without EMP.
Yeah, very difficult. His army was low. The Protoss was in a good spot. His units were already in a better position, so the Terran was trying to get the Concave, but the Concave is already in the Protoss' favor. And the Archons actually did a lot of damage to the Vikings, and once those Vikings fell, that one Colossus was in there cleaning up house, man. There were a lot of Marines in that composition, and when you have that many Marines in the Colossi-heavy army, it's very, very difficult to hang in there.
So the second game is going to be on Tal'Darim Altar, which is another one of those maps where we see those longer games where the players just kind of sit there until the late game, and then it's 200 versus 200, and then usually doesn't go too well for Terran, but we're going to have to find out. Let's get in the game.